Hello, Frank Garay here with the Mortgage Loan Officer Podcast. It's been a minute, been kind of busy, but I'm glad to be back with you. Today, I wanted to chat about something that is going on with me and to see if it might be helpful to you in some way or not. I'm not sure. But you may have heard, if you watch me on Loan Officer Breakfast Club or connected to me in other ways, maybe Facebook or whatever, you may have seen. I've been looking to try and get a business started with my kids, right? Because I want them to have something of equity, right? I want them to have something instead of just a job with a boss that they do every day. And plus, a couple of my kids, they just have some challenges that make it a little difficult for them to just enter into that normal workspace, and there's nothing wrong with that, believe me. I'm not saying that at all, but they're just, they have some unique circumstances. One of my child has autistic kids. My other kid, child, Katie, has a big family and lots of kids, and so the daycare thing is pretty much impossible. So at any rate, I wanted to put something together for the both of them, something that could be sustainable, something of equity, right? So naturally, I'm in mortgage. So blah, there you go. I figured somehow we can get them connected into the mortgage industry. And we went down this path of, it's ironic. We went down a path of let's try commercial loans because they don't have licensing and they're not going to get bothered to get NMLS licensing, right? But we barely really tried that because we tried it with a particular entity that just wasn't set up a good way, and it was a failure from the beginning. So then we thought, well, let's go a different direction, and so we tried to go 100% cannabis financing, and but even then we were just trying to just market for stuff and then just refer it, like it would just cycle through us and refer over to someone that could fund it. We weren't really trying to go out there and actively be a part of that stuff. And so then we even went to the degree where we thought, well, let's get back into the mortgage industry, Mr. Dad, Frank, and start originating residential loans again. So I got the NMLS going and all that stuff and got hired on and with a company. And then my kids, my daughter would be, like part of the team basically, right? Not doing any licensed activities because she doesn't have that, but doing other things. And really what that amounted to was now Dad was back in the mortgage business. Okay. And so it just didn't really pan out to be what I wanted it to be or what I kind of was envisioning. So we do still do that. I am licensed, of course, with Success Mortgage Partners. I work with Steve and Carl White. I have a little team that I work with there, Tana Goff and Teresa Braden. And if I come across residential deals from real estate agents, I just head them on over there and they close them. But we came full circle around with myself and Katie back to this commercial side of things. And we finally found the happy place for me and my kids to build something for them. And so it is in that commercial hard money, arena is where we are. And so it was about, 8 months ago, I guess, that we launched Lulu Capital Inc. And Lulu Capital Inc. Lulu is my wife's nickname. It's not one she's terribly fond of, but she just has it. But as a fun thing, we called it Lulu Capital Inc. We are a DRE licensed corporation in the state of California. So legally we can get paid on, non-RESPA deals, commercial, multifamily, fix and flip stuff, that kind of a thing. So we got set up and running, and now we found a way where Katie and her fiance can be fully integrated in. And so I've been steadily working with them to try and build this company up and get it going. And we've got it, we've done well, and we're still trying to make it all flow right. Still Frank is doing most of the heavy lifting still, right? But at least there's transactions flowing through. Now they can start to learn, because you can't, how it is in this business. You don't really learn this business till you do a transaction or two, right? So now that we have transactions flowing, they're learning about the transactions. They're learning how to structure different types of loans, and their first taste of structuring mortgage business is in the private capital space. So it's kind of interesting in the commercial space, in the fix and flip DSCR space, right? So it's kind of neat. And so I wanted to share on this podcast kind of my experience in this space because this is kind of new to me too. I'm a 38-year mortgage guy. I've always been most of my career, I've been a mortgage broker. I did spend 3 years with Wells Fargo, went back into brokering. And then, of course, National Real Estate Post took off in 2007, 2008. Didn't do lending till a couple of years ago where I got back with Katie and wound up at a couple of places, but now I'm at Success Mortgage Partners. But I've always been on the residential side, right? So I thought that, I would just share my experience of being on the other, this side of it, which is that investor only side. Now, here's the thing. Here's what I found. If you do the research, you'll see that investor deals are only about 10 or 15% of the business per year in the country. So it's not a big piece of the pie. It's small. But here's what I found is there's no lack of leads, right? Like once me and Katie started kind of getting the word out through various methods, a lot of phone calling. I'm a believer in the daily success plan, right? I do the daily success plan. I have the AI CRM. I use the power dialer. So a lot of phone calls, right? But also we're doing email blasts, right? That kind of a thing. We did some Facebook ads. We've got LinkyBot with Casey O'Toole working to find investor leads and church leads. We do church loans too. What I'm finding is that what I found is that once we spent a month or two just kind of getting the word out that we can help with this stuff, the leads started kind of coming in. And now, it's not uncommon for us to get, 5, 6 leads a day, that kind of a thing. So one of the things that I found entering into this space, and probably a lot of you that are listening are already in this space, so I think you would agree with me, and I'd love to get your comments on it. Just go ahead and leave some comments if you're watching on YouTube, or reach out to me and let me know what you think. Hey there, if you're loving the tips so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button and then click on the bell as well so you never miss out on more cool free tips coming your way. And also would love to hear from you. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think or what you want to see next. But what I am finding is that there's a big need for this type of stuff, right? A big need. And it's not that difficult to get the inbound lead, but like on the residential side, what we learned through Marketing Animals and probably is your experience on the residential side, out of 4 referrals, not leads, but referrals you get from a referral partner, we typically wind up closing one of those. So about 25% actually make it to the finish line, which I think is pretty average. In this space, it's like 1 in 10. There's a lot, and on the residential side, you think things are competitive. On this side, it's fiercely competitive. And on the residential side, we say, hey, first one to the lead wins. You got to be fast to the lead. On this side, yeah, that's true here too, but you got to be on it because like I'm finding that most of the time when people are looking for like that multifamily deal or that commercial deal or that fix and flip deal, a lot of times you're not the only one they're talking to, right? They're talking to a couple of more. So it becomes very competitive. You got to be very fast. Timing is everything. You got to find them at the right place, the right time, that kind of a thing. But I'm also finding it to be very different with respect to on the residential side, there tends to be more emotion involved on the residential side. You got buyers maybe selling a house to buy another one. It's their life. It's where they're going to live. It's, that kind of a thing, or a first timer, or, that kind of thing. So sometimes emotions can elevate a little bit. You know what I mean? It's a little more emotionally driven, right? Where on this side, not really. On this side, it's pretty much just data. It's numbers. Once the numbers get agreed upon, it's just done deal. It's pretty interesting. So, and I like it. I'm also finding that the real niche stuff is interesting. I'll give you an example. I just closed a $2.1 million cannabis deal. It was a grow facility in Sacramento, and that was an interesting transaction, right? It was when I got the deal, it was on a purchase lease. It was a lease option to buy, right? And so it was time to exercise the lease option. And when he wound up in my lap, he had 10 days to get it done. So obviously he was probably with someone else, or maybe one or more, that for some reason it didn't work out. And then he wound up with me I got referred to him by another mortgage broker. And we got it done. We had 10 days. It closed in 14, but not because of us. It was because the title company that was chosen by the seller didn't do cannabis, right? So at the very end, when we were trying to get title work, the title company said, we don't do that. So it had to change. So it was a little bit of a delay there. So yeah, I'm just finding that it's a very interesting space. If you're in the residential space, I would not recommend, like going, I'm just going to do that. That would be scary. I think if you're fully in the residential space, it's not bad to dabble in it per se a little bit. But I do believe that now that I'm in this space, working with my daughter and trying to build this company with and for her, I do think that it does require a devoted attention to it. You do have to know your stuff. You've got to know, how to put these deals together. You got to know what's needed. You got to have a strong understanding of it. It can't just be, yeah, sure, let's throw it up against the wall and see what sticks, because that could wind up being a problem for an investor on a purchase or something like that, and it's not going to go over well. But anyways, what I want to let you guys know is that if you are in the residential space and you don't do these types of deals, and you're not interested in doing these types of deals, and if they happen to come across your plate once in a while, if you don't already have a go-to person that helps you with that type of stuff, consider us. I just say consider us. You already know me, and it's me and my daughter, and we'd love to help you. Now, the question always comes up, yeah, but can I get paid for it? Well, the short answer is you can. These are non-RESPA loans, right? These are business loans. These have nothing to do with the NMLS or anything like that in most states, okay? On your end, you would have to make sure in your state, if you referred a commercial deal to a commercial lender, could you get paid on that? You'd have to check in your state. Most states, it's not really a big deal to get a referral fee or a marketing fee for the referral. I will tell you this, we can do it. We've done it. We pay 25%. But for myself and for, being in California, we don't do the independent contractor thing at all. Like, I don't do that. Like, if you're an entity, we can pay, we'll pay you. If you've got an LLC, we'll pay you. And you probably should get an LLC anyway as an originator, just to have it, right? You never know what's going to come your way. And they're very inexpensive and easy to do. So I would look into that. But if you did have something, or if you come across that once in a while, or you just wanted to pick my brain about something, feel free. You could go to workwithlulu.com. That's workwithlulu.com. And there's a little form there. You just fill it out and it'll get straight to me. It actually texts me, and I'll give you a buzz and see what's going on and see if we can help you with whatever, if you got any questions. We don't really like to do the broker to broker thing, and I'm definitely not, we're not recruiting. We're not looking to have loan officers. This is for us, we're just a little tight little family unit that we're putting together here. I'm hoping to have Katie and her fiance completely up and running on their own, by the end of the year in 2025, so that they can just do it all and then send checks to mom and dad. every month. That's the big fat hairy plan if you really want to know the truth. So that's what's going on. I just wanted to kind of give you my experience of what it's like over on this side. Again, I know there's probably a bunch of you listening who this is what you do and you've been doing it for years and you know a lot more than me. So, but hey, any advice would be great. I'm also looking for funding sources. So, I'm always looking for a new place to send a deal because that's the other thing in this arena, in this vertical of the lending world, there's so many different investors that will lend in so many different ways on so many different types of property. It's just fascinating to me. But anyways, that's it. I just want to let you guys know that. Don't forget, if you want to chat about it, you need some help on something, workwithlulu.com. Work with Lulu, which is LULU.com. I'd love to help. So with that, you have a good one, and we'll catch up here with you later. We'll see you. Bye-bye.